Hi, welcome back to English 111. First thing I want to say is the Core Project 3 is due by this coming Sunday before midnight. So you need to work at that and get that done. The other thing is that Core Project 2 is going to be due just 4 days after that on Wednesday, December the 27th. And I've highlighted it, and I'll send out a reminder about it needs to be done by the 27th. The reason for that is the last day of classes is the 27th, and I'm supposed to have all my grades turned in by 9 a.m. on the 28th. And I will do that, so you need to get everything that you intend to get to me by the due date of that last Core Project 2. Don't panic. It's easy to do. I'll tell you what, to get you through both of these assignments, the best thing to do is not branch out on your own. Is just follow the instructional guidelines, outlines that I've given you, and you'll be fine. But you've got to give me something. I promise you, I'm going to be lenient with this. My goal is going to be to give you the highest possible grade that I can give you based on your effort. But I'm going to be very gentle with you on the grading. But I can't do that. I can't help you if you don't turn anything in. So I always say, if you turn something in, it's going to be better than turning nothing in. And do keep in mind, too, that Core Project 3 counts 25% of your course grade, and Core Project 2 counts 20%. So this is 45%. Of course, all the coursework was 35%. That was the next pricey thing that we had. Anyway, so this week, let's look. No late work can be accepted during these last 2 weeks of the course. It's too late now. You just need to finish. You need to finish, and you don't need to look back. Just move ahead and finish. Because I'm telling you, by the 27th, when I start grading Core Project 2, I'm not accepting anything during that time. It's going to be rushed enough as it is, getting them in by 9 a.m. the next morning, after giving you till midnight to do that. So anyway, Core Project 3 is due before midnight on Sunday, July 24th, and Core Project 2 is due before midnight on Wednesday, July 27th. It's a different day than we usually turn in stuff, so I'll send out some reminders. Get it in by that Wednesday. If you feel, and this is something that I have, I actually sent out an email to everybody about this. If you feel that you cannot complete the assignments that are due July 24th and July 27th by their deadlines, then you might consider withdrawing from the course. And the last day to withdraw from the course is Tuesday, July the 19th, so this coming Tuesday. So just keep that in mind. It would be better, I think, to withdraw from the course and not hurt your GPA, and then you can use our grade forgiveness and take it again, and the withdrawal will still show on your transcript as you have withdrawn, but when you retake it and make a B in the course, that is what gets figured into your GPA. The B, not the failing. If you didn't withdraw and didn't turn in the material, you're going to fail because of the amount that it counts towards your grade. So work hard, get this done, give me your best effort, and I'll give you my best effort in helping along what you've done to a passing grade. All right, so that's what you need to do. Watch this week's video. Pay attention to in-text citation and matching the works cited. And I'm going to show you that on a sample essay in just a minute. Continue researching and finding evidence for the body paragraphs. That would be going toward your solutions. How is this working? Where is this working? Is there some organization that has been, working on this in certain countries or whatever? And I shouldn't have to say this because, but I will. When you are looking at these global goals, you should be addressing things that are helping people who have a real problem by not having that goal met. So, if you're writing about women and strengthening women's position, if you're writing about that, it won't be appropriate for you to look at local United States abuse, home abuse. I can't think of the word for it, but anyway, domestic. That's what I was looking for. Domestic abuse, because yes, it's a problem in the United States. Yes, it is. But there's some countries that their whole idea is to put women down and hurt women, and that's what you should be looking at, where the problem is the worst, because then the solution is the best. To follow that. You want to get those body paragraphs done, one for each of your, all three, for your all three. Y'all, if we were face to face, I'd be doing this very same thing. I kind of lose my train of thought sometimes. All right, so 3 that you mentioned in your thesis statement, 3 body paragraphs, one for each one of those items you mentioned as solutions in your body paragraph. And then the refutation, the opposition and refutation, and you're going to find something that the opposition says is a problem, that we can't do some of this stuff because of the problem. And if you can't think of anything or find anything where somebody said this is just too big to handle, and then talk back to that person with your refutation, you should be able to just say, some people say this can't be accomplished because it'll cost too much. And just about everything, people will say it costs too much. How can, where's the money coming from? Where's the money going? Money is always a big issue. So, if you get down to it and you're trying to think, what can I do for my opposition and refutation paragraph, just resort to money. It's some people say that it will cost too much to do this. And then you have the opportunity to talk back to that person with your refutation. And the first part of refutation is just admitting that they're partially right. So you can say it is expensive. However, and that's where you talk back to them, the expense is so much worth it. It's going to allow these people to help these other people, and this organization that is in charge of this has already made progress in 15 areas, that sort of thing. So you're going to talk back to them and tell them how much it's worth, that you can't always consider money. Sometimes you have to consider well-being of human beings. Look there, I gave you a good sentence to put in your paragraph right there. And then complete your conclusion paragraph. And for the conclusion paragraph, I would like you to end it with a call to action. And some things that can help you with the call to action is this down here, this 170 actions. If you click on it, and it'll come up as a PDF, and it's coming up. There we go. And it's organized. These are daily actions that anybody can do. So it's arranged it says if, it's got these little, it builds up to a question when you get through with it. But anyway, so here's no poverty. Get everybody involved. Have a classroom. Do regular outreach day trips to areas in need. Teach a skill or short course at a community center, computer skills, building a resume, preparing for job interviews. Because education is the answer to poverty. It really is. And then if we could work on the greed of corporations a little bit and let them allow people to be generous and get paid what they're worth, then anyway. I'm sorry I lurched into a little standing on my soapbox thing there for education. All right, we all know teachers are underpaid. All right, so, and then it goes right into 2, and then it goes into 3, etc. So that's a good thing for you to use, and you certainly can find something that you would say, you know, give them an, 1 or 2 things maybe to do. I like the idea of getting someone in a class that you're in to adopt some kind of program that gets out into the community and gets people some computer skills. First of all, because you know how lost you are if you don't know how to operate a computer. Anyway, this, how to write a refutation paragraph and writing a conclusion paragraph, they're right there. And there's your 170 actions to go at the end of your conclusion paragraph. Here is the check sheet for Core Project 3, just like the check sheet for Core Project 1 that I gave you. So you can go through and make sure you have everything that this requires from you. And then this sample essay is going to be valuable to you, I believe. So we have in this one, here is I'm going to pretend the student's name is English student, so this would be student 1, student 2, student 3. And over here, student name, teacher name, course name, and of course that was a face-to-face course, so you put our course in there, and then the date. The importance of environmental stewards. It is centered. Everything is double line space, so you just come from here, 1 space to there, 1 space down to your paragraph where it starts here. Capitalize your title. Capitalize the first word and the last word, and then capitalize everything else in between the first and last words, except little prepositions like of or in or to, those. It also excludes articles, which would be a, an, or the. And it would also exclude conjunctions like and but and or and so. Those conjunctions that are used in a title would not be capitalized. All right, so all we leave uncapitalized in this one is the word of. Next line, indent. Always indent the first line of your paragraph. And take a look at this. The reason this is from an actual student, but I took their I took the student's name off of it so you wouldn't know who wrote it. And please, please, please don't copy it, because you're going to get pulled for plagiarism if you do that. But it's valuable, and you can see what he did. I ask you to start an introduction paragraph with an attention getter. So here is his attention getter, this whole thing, an estimated 18 million acres of forest, which is roughly the size of the country of Panama, are lost each year. And that is a quotation that he used, and that's what I ask you to start your introduction paragraph with, an attention getter, something that would be astounding for people to know so that they'll want to read on. Also, notice when he has used the quotation here, he's got quotation marks at the beginning and at the end, and those quotation marks need to butt right up on the letter before it, not a space between them, because they'll turn the other way and they'll look more like these instead of those. So be careful to include them both. He also used a signal phrase before he started the quotation. So here's the signal phrase: according to livescience.com, comma, because it's an introductory phrase. Then he's got his quotation, and then he's got at the end, notice how this is punctuated because he did this correctly. Quotation marks, then parentheses, and this is where you've got to be careful that whatever you put in parentheses matches the hanging out part of your works cited entry. So this says Bradford in quotation marks, and then the period comes after that quotation mark. After that parentheses. So we've got quotation marks, parentheses, Bradford, parentheses, period. And I call this quo pair for parentheses, punk, your end punctuation with a period there. Now let's see if his matches on his works cited page. Let me flip through here. All right, here is the works cited page, and I'm looking for Bradford, and there it is in alphabetical order. The entries on the works cited page, when you have more than one, are put in alphabetical order. So there it is: Bradford, comma, Alina, period, quotation marks around the article's name, deforestation, colon, facts, comma, causes and effects, period, quotation marks. Perfect. Did this perfectly. The publisher was livescience.com. It didn't have a year that he could determine, so he didn't put a date on there. But if he had a date, he'd put it right. He'd put it there. Then the URL, and then the date of access. He accessed this the 22nd of October in 2019. Okay, so follow it and follow his essay, and you can see how he did it. And I would want you to do as well as he did, so you can actually see it as well as read what you're supposed to do in the checklist for Core Project 3. All right, so he says here, and then after putting the attention getter in, he goes on to narrow the focus down to the particular goal. So one of the global goals is goal 15, and in here, let me back up. In here, he told what the United Nations was. So here's what he said about the United Nations. The United Nations created 17 sustainable global goals to reverse the wrongdoings that man has made on each other, our environment, and our global economy. So try to use your own words to say that, because that's, your reader needs to know what the United Nations is, and they may not. So put that in there. There are 17 goals, and then he goes into further narrow it down. One of the global goals is goal 15, which is tailored to manage forests, combat desertification, and halt biodiversity loss. Those are three things that the Global Goal 15 wants to do. He used the exact words from this source, the goal page where y'all all were supposed to start. And he's got, I would put a comma there. Might as well clean it up as I go. I said this isn't perfect. This isn't a perfect paper, but it is definitely something that he's, if you want to know how to do in-text citation and have it matching the works cited page, here's your kid right here. He did it very well. Okay, so and anytime you use actual words from the website, you've got to put it in quotation marks. And then here's the quote, pair, punk again. And here it says goal 15. And notice he has it, a woman's name up there, Bradford. But here he has goal 15 in quotation marks. The quotation marks let me know that's an article that does not have an author. So this has an author. This does not, but he got the information from this article. So let's go back and see if we can find goal 15. Come on. All right, so we got 50. Oh, by the way, if you've got anything that starts with a number, numbers come before letters in alphabetical order. And the numbers would go in numerical order. So if I had one starting with 10, it would go before the one starting with 50 right there. And here's what you do. If you don't have an author, then you start with the title. And then you go to the publisher. And then you put in your URL and the date of access. So I'm looking for goal 15, and here it is right here. Goal 15, sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. That is the goal. That's what it says. And so it goes in quotation marks because it is the title from somebody else's from somebody else. It's not your own title. You don't ever put quotations around your own title. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every word of this essay, but you can see I labeled it out. I put comments on it. This is his first solution paragraph. This is his second solution paragraph. Here's his third solution. Here's his opposition and refutation, and he did a really good job with that too. I liked it. And this is his concluding paragraph. And see how he's done his citations. Y'all get in there and just do it exactly like he did it, because that is the way you're supposed to do it. Okay, well, with all that help and that check sheet and that sample, besides the fact that you've got to get out there and get the research done so that you can put the stuff in there, please try to do the very best that you can to get this turned into Smart Thinking, and so that you can get their comments back on it, see if there's anything you can do to improve it. And that means you're going to have to get rocking at the beginning of the week on this. But here is the link for Smart Thinking. When you submit your rough draft to them, you've already had the experience of dealing with Smart Thinking. You know they are going to you're going to need to give them some kind of explanation of what the assignment is, because they don't know what you're trying to do. You got to tell them what you're trying to do. So in this information under the link to Smart Thinking, if you just copy and paste that in there as the description, I have gotten this is good. This is what I want to see, and this is what they know you're now, what I'm looking for. And my final remark for this week is the things you need to do to finish the year strong are the exact same things you should have been doing all year long. The only difference is that time is no longer an ally, it's an adversary. And I know you probably feel like time is a real adversary. I got to get all this done this week. Yeah, you're just going to have to break out the time and do it. Maybe you won't have much social life this week, but you got to get it done if you want to finish up the semester with an A or a B. That's what we hope for, at least a C, because it won't transfer if it's anything less than a C. So that's it for this week, and I'm going to do a separate video for Core Project 2. So I'll be talking to you again on that one. See you next time.